said it. They at their own church. Listen to the man. Get up out of there. Oh, gosh. Best thing you said.
That was the best one-liner right there, Bishop. That was good. Hey, welcome to Not a Fitted Podcast. It's your boy, Anthony Conservative Chicano. Happy New Year to my guys. I got the token. I got the Bishop. Are we okay, Mike?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We're always good.
We're always good.
We're always good.
So you take your wins.
You take your wins.
And you take your...
I had multiple losses in the last
That's why I'm
couple days.
asking.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Which one hurt worse? The Packers or the Ducks?
Packers.
Why'd that hurt so much worse?
I think Indiana is a better team than Oregon.
Oh, okay.
So it's, they play 10 times. I think Indiana beats them 8 or 9 times.
Is that a result of coaching, players, or a culmination of all of it?
Probably a culmination of all of it. They were just really good this year.
Okay, can we say Indiana? They're good.
They're good.
They're good.
They're good. They've got the best quarterback in the nation. I mean, he's going to be the number 1 pick.
Talk about efficiency.
So.
Incredible.
Yeah, and then I hate the Bears and we
hate
lost.
the Bears.
Yeah.
I'm not a Bears fan. I've never been anti-Bears, but I'm not a
the
big
cherry
fan.
on top is that
I don't like Caleb Williams.
The cherry on top is their quarterback paints his fingernails.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not a big fan. And he was an SC guy. And I've never had an SC quarterback who I really didn't care that he was my SC quarterback. I really didn't. I know that's sad to say, but
yeah, he's not a true SC guy.
He's not because he was a transfer. He was a transfer. That's why. Okay, portal. We're
yeah.
gonna call it a portal SC QB right there. Were you surprised at any of the games though? Were you surprised?
One of the games that I watched was the Chargers and New England game.
All over my feed today. Nobody could believe they couldn't get a touchdown.
Yeah, and so I was surprised at how poorly Justin Herbert played.
Yeah, poor. Yeah, I think we'd even use a stronger word than poor.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
Yeah. So I mean, he is a Duck quarterback.
But I'm a huge Justin Herbert fan.
So.
Can't define a guy off one.
And I didn't know that guy Drake May was good.
Yeah, Drake May's good. Real good. Footnote though, if I can have any consolation prize right here, the Raiders did beat the Patriots. I feel real good about saying that. Fist bump to my boy Jeremy. Why are you laughing at me? Can I celebrate any win? Can I get any win from you?
I wasn't laughing.
You're laughing. You're laughing at us.
I was just here.
That's pretty impressive because was that in New England?
In New England. Double pump. Bam. There you go. You're like, you guys still suck. I know we do, but I'm taking my wins when I can get them. Anyway, shout out to that.
Are we going to do Super Bowl picks?
We're going to do Super Bowl picks. You want to do it right now? Who's going? Let's go right now. Who's going?
Oh, we got to ask Deshaun.
Yeah.
Who do you
Who's
have?
going to Super Bowl?
I don't know.
He doesn't know. Yeah.
Playoffs.
Is it too early in the playoffs? We got to wait one more week?
No. If our pick is in it next week, we'll pick again. Who you got? Who you got coming out of the NFC?
Niners won yesterday, right?
They did. Hey, shout out Shanahan.
Dude,
Great job of coaching yesterday.
Great job of coaching.
Great. How about Fresno's own, Bullard's own, Kendricks for the
Hoover.
Yeah, Hoover's own, Kendricks for the play of the game.
Yeah.
Play a game? Okay. Who do you got coming out of the NFC?
Okay, so the NFC, just so it's Seattle, Rams,
Yep.
Niners,
Yep.
and
Well, there's a game. Bears.
and the Bears.
Bears.
Okay,
a game,
I'm going.
Hold on, there's a game tonight though.
But that's the 4.
Okay.
I'll go with my heart. I'll go with the Rams.
Ooh. Okay. Who you got?
The Niners.
Okay. I actually think I was just talking to shout out Julian Amparo. I was just talking to him, and him and I both couldn't believe how good the Seahawks look. And I hate Seattle.
Yeah, I can't go for the Chickens.
I can't, and I don't want to. But until somebody shows me something different, they're good. They're really good.
And they have home field.
And they have home field. And nobody likes to play in Seattle. And they're good. Okay. Who are you going through? Who's coming out of the AFC?
I'm betting with my heart again. Come on, Fireballs own Josh Allen.
You want the Bills. You know what? Okay, go ahead. Who you want?
Who else is in there?
Okay.
Well, you got the Patriots.
Patriots, Bills, Steelers,
Mm-hmm.
Houston Texans.
CJ Stroud.
And
That's tonight. Mm-hmm.
There's one more. Because there's 5. Bills. Anyway, just choose one of those.
Steelers. They're saying
Why? Why are you gonna say the Steelers?
No, because what's the name's there?
Who?
Oh, okay.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers.
I thought you were gonna go.
You can see black
Black
coach.
head
Yeah.
coach.
Well, that's what we're
Oh, gosh, I knew you called it. You called it. Okay, not a fitted podcast. We're just choosing on color. Apparently, Josh Allen.
with the white quarterback. It's a good team right there. I'm for
gosh.
unity.
Unity.
Oh my God. You bringing us together?
Yeah, we're gonna
Bringing us together. You know what? Why not somebody different? Why not go Bills? Let's go. Speaking of that, CJ Stroud, you sent me a clip. I thought, why not show it since we were talking a little bit about football? And those of you who don't like us talking about sports, sometimes it's okay, fast forward through it. But do not fast forward through this. I love the question because I even love more the answer. Shout out, man of God, CJ Stroud. Watch this.
No one expected him to go on live TV and say this.
Do you not feel like that the testimony that you and D'Amico and all the players are giving, that he is blessing you guys because of the testimony that you're giving this season?
I don't want it to ever be confused. I don't think God is like the Texans are going to win. But I think regardless of win or loss, he gets the glory. And that's up to us, and that's just worship. And I think him giving us our talents, our abilities, and these jobs, his, more than worthy of all the worship. And that's just really why we do what we do. It's not because we want favor from the Lord, even though, that would be nice. In my opinion, you don't just get favor from the Lord because you just give him glory, but he deserves it and he's worthy of it. And I look back on my life, he's been faithful. But yeah, it's just not because we all follow Jesus that we just win every game. I think it shows the world when you lose and you do not doing well, how you profess your faith or, you go about your life when things aren't going great is the testimony and really the testament of your faith and, your journey and your witness to everybody else.
Hey, so what'd you guys think of that? I thought that was incredible. I mean, I think he's only 24 or 25. He just seems mature beyond his years. What was your thought when you watched it the first time?
I don't think people really talk about how through the losses you can really show people your profession and your love for Christ. And so that was probably what stuck out to me was just that it was very mature answer that it's through the losses that you can really worship the Lord and people can see how you respond to those losses.
What about you, Bishop? What'd you think of that?
Yeah, it is really good. God's God no matter what. Mm-hmm. So no matter what circumstance you're in your life, whether you have $1 million or $0, God is still God. So it doesn't change. Your circumstances don't change who He is.
I did like how he pointed out, he would like God to be for him winning everything.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was
Although
honest.
it would be nice, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was honest, but I think to me, what I heard him say was like, listen, I'm going to give God glory simply because God deserves the glory. Whether I win or lose, God is worthy of all praise, and I'm going to give it to him. And I think that should be said of every aspect of our life. Whether we're in a good season or a bad season, no, God's still worthy of praise. Whether he's blessing us or we're not being blessed, God is still worthy of praise. And I think that's a mindset. And I'm glad they asked that question because they are putting it out there. Do you guys see a rise in this? Do you see, we've been talking this for the last year and a half, 2 years, because we talk about culture and its influence on the church, right? Happy New Year to us, right? It's a new season. But what I see, and I think it started with Ohio State, what was that, a year and a half ago? Mm-hmm. We saw the baptisms, we saw the Bibles, their shirts, God's first, all this stuff. I've seen a rise in a boldness of athletes, right? And from the college all the way over to NFL now, people just out there on their faith. And really, you don't hear any blowback right now. And it's like you can't get away from it. It cracked me up that, Fernando Mendoza, right? They caught him again after that interview. And he goes, hey, before we even get started. And, they know they're going to have to put up with it. They know he's going to say something. And he just works that in. Mm-hmm. No, this is who we are. This is what we believe. And I see a boldness. I see a tide changing, something's stirring. And I'm pretty excited about it. You see the same thing?
Yeah, I feel like maybe I could be wrong, but I feel like 2 phases ago,
okay,
believers did, who are athletes, they did, say, hey, all the things that we're hearing now.
Right.
And then there was that wave 1 phase ago of where it was hush, you don't say anything. And now it does seem like there's a lot more, and it's accepted.
Great word.
People are accepting it. Although I will say, I think it's kind of funny. Mario Cristobal is the coach at Miami.
Yeah.
I like watching the post-game interviews a lot.
Okay.
With the head coaches, they talk we were talking about the other day. They talk about culture.
Yeah.
And so you learn a lot about how people and why people win through these interviews. And anyway, every time, the big man upstairs. That's what he calls him. First and foremost, the big man upstairs, and I'm just like, what are you saying? Are you afraid to say Jesus? Like,
Right.
what is the big man upstairs? Is this a cartoon figure that you're talking about? So I don't know. My guess is he's just traditionally Catholic, but
Yeah, probably. What do you think? You see a rise in this? Are you excited about it? You like this boldness, these platforms these guys got, and what they're doing?
I mean, tell you the truth, I don't follow it enough to know.
Okay.
I do think there probably is some of a rise. I think in general, people have been pushed down so much. People are like, I'm just gonna say what I'm gonna say, because you don't look down on me anyways.
Oh.
So I think across the board, is people are willing to say what they actually feel, because what you're gonna hate me either way. If I don't say what you want me to say, you're gonna hate me. So I might as well just say what I feel and say what I want to say, because you guys are gonna come against me anyways.
yep.
He ain't wrong. That's true. That's true. Well, I thought, since we're starting off the new year, we got a new you. We're excited about what God is doing. I thought we need to have a new segment. I think we need to laugh more. In 2026, I think we need to laugh more. I found this guy hilarious. Footnote, I am going to say this. I did watch some of his other stuff. Parental advisory is, okay, y'all need to temper it. This segment is good, but the whole segment ain't good. So this part, you don't got to turn it down with the kids in the car. You get ready to laugh, but don't go YouTubing him the rest of the way, okay? He says there's some suspect stuff. But this part, y'all need to watch this.
I've tried to eat healthy. I can't. I've been eating the wrong way for too long. My stomach reacts to salads like some of y'all's reacts to Taco Bell. It's like, what is this? We've never heard of a carrot. We're not packing this. We're sending it, Sometimes I need some chicken fingers to get back on my feet again. I've lived in a hipster neighborhood for a while, and they always tell me, Derek, you need a juice drink. You need a smoothie. You need some juice. I'm like, if I have any more juice and somebody bumps into me, I'm going to poop my britches. I'm an adult. I'm not built for juice. Children are built for juice. If I have 2 cups of apple juice back to back, your boy's fighting for his life. I've tried to do things that hipsters wanted me to do. They go, you need deodorant without aluminum. I need all the aluminum. No, I tried to use that deodorant that runs off friendship and tree bark. No, I need something that fights for me. I tried to be an ally, but I'm not going to die alone.
I need all
To fight for me.
I need all the aluminum I can get.
Oh, God.
What did he say about tree bark? I could hear.
He said, I need more than deodorant that runs off tree bark and friendship. Okay, best
If I
part.
have 2 cups of apple juice, your boy's fighting for his life.
No, I watched this like 5 times in a row, and I laughed more and more each time, because the part that gets me is I need some chicken fingers to get me right. Oh, gosh. Oh, man, he was like, what's so funny? I tried to show it, I couldn't show it. I was just laughing too hard. Oh, what'd you think?
He's funny. No, I've seen it.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I like
Okay.
him. He's funny.
Was that like a Christmas special? Because it was all that Christmas stuff?
I just seen like clips. I haven't seen. But
Okay.
yeah, he's a funny guy.
What's his name?
I have no idea. Derek
Yeah,
Straub.
I think he's from Alabama too.
He is.
Yeah.
Because he starts saying something about being from the South. I saw another one. That one got a little rough. But, bro,
Yeah.
he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's funny.
He's super funny. So you liked it? See, we laughed.
Yeah, I've never seen it before,
Okay.
so I gotta check.
Well, we're
it out.
laughing. Well, I'm finding a whole bunch of stuff. So, we need, you know what? We're always serious. We're going to laugh a little bit more in 2026. We all
do
need
it.
some laughter.
Yes.
Right? All right. So, but your boy needs all the aluminum he can get. That's great. Okay. There's a lot going on. I didn't know so much could go on the last 2 weeks. We had the president of Venezuela. Some people saying kidnapped, other people saying arrested. I really don't care.
I don't know. They got him. That was crazy.
And I can I say this? I did run into a couple Venezuelans people, and just kind of chop up. They're super excited, like they were happy. Like they're like, get rid of that dude. He's been the worst thing ever. Blah blah blah. Whatever. All the conspiracy theories are out. It's for the oil. It's for this. It's for that. I don't know enough. I can't speak on it. That wasn't nearly as divisive as the ICE shooting that took place a few days ago. And I believe it is in Minnesota.
Hey, Minnesota
Yeah.
again?
Yeah, here's why.
Yeah, Minnesota seems like a horrible place.
It's popping
Making
right now.
Portland look pretty good.
It's making Portland look like stellar. Okay. So here's what's going on, guys. What's going on is, once again, there's something controversial that takes place. And I feel like instead of everybody kind of giving in a little bit on the sides, everybody quickly went to their positions. They went to their echo chambers. They went to their tribe. I'm watching pastors go at it. I'm watching all this stuff. And I'm like, what are you doing? We can all lay, and I'm going to show you the clip in the video. And I specifically chose CNN on purpose because I don't want anybody thinking we just only play Fox clips or this clip or that clip. I play all the clips just to get all the naysayers out there off my back. I don't understand why we can't make definitive statements that are from a biblical worldview like this. It's an absolute tragedy somebody lost their life. Why can't we not say that? Why is that so hard to say that human life is valuable? That this should have never come to this. Do you see what I'm saying? We could start off with bare minimums. So now that I said I just want you to watch this clip, I'm saying right now, this is completely sad that somebody lost their mom, somebody lost their auntie, somebody lost their friend over something that they didn't need to lose their life over. Nothing was life-threatening. It didn't need to happen this way, okay? But I want you, this is Anderson Cooper from CNN. Watch this.
CNN has obtained some new video. Again, it's grainy and distant, but it shows 4 full minutes leading up to the shooting. It shows Renee Good's maroon Honda Pilot entering from the right there. Then 20 seconds later, someone gets out on the passenger side. We don't know who or why this person leaves the car. We then see her turn and pull perpendicular across the street, seeming to block the way. But as you see here, leaving room for vehicles to pass by her on either side. Finally, there's this new angle of the federal officer who shot her. He arrives. Another federal SUV pulls up. As the ICE officer briefly goes back to his car, then he returns, and with another agent grabbing at her door, she starts to move forward. Again, it's hard to see from this angle, followed by 3 gunshots in quick succession. 4 minutes in all from start to finish. But for all the video that may reveal, it says nothing about why Renee Good was where she was or what she was doing there. And it's not all we don't know. Somehow, the administration, without offering any evidence, seems terribly certain about who this woman is and what motivated her.
What young mother shows up and decides they're going to throw their car in front of ICE officers who are enforcing legitimate law? You've got to be a little brainwashed to get to that point to where you're willing not just to protest, that's fine, not peacefully protest, but throw your vehicle in front of legitimate law enforcement officers and drive your car into them. To get to that point, you have to be, I think, radicalized in a very, very sad way.
Well, the vice president also called her, quote, a deranged leftist and a member of a, quote, broader left-wing network. Though when pressed for evidence, here's what he said.
Who do you think is behind this broader left-wing network?
Well, it's one of the things we're going to have to figure out.
And it's going back and forth. Let me give you some updates, some recent developments. She did belong to a group that their whole goal was to impede ICE agents from detaining people and deporting them. She did show up with her significant other, who I don't know if she was married to her, if that was her girlfriend, but they did. They may have reported on that now, but as to my knowledge, I'm not sure which it was. It doesn't matter. It was planned. They were literally following ICE agents, and the whole goal was to impede the ICE agents from doing their job. And so they were going around, hey, ICE is here, ICE is here, ICE is here. Further videos come out that before she did take off on her car, they asked her to please either move her vehicle or now get out of the vehicle. You need to get out of the vehicle. You're obstructing justice. So when the one officer went to go get her, she put the car in drive and she revved up, and that's when she began to take off. The ICE officer was in front, and because now this is the other version, right? This is his side. Because he feared for his life, he pulled out his weapon and he discharged his weapon, striking the young lady in a fatal way. The rhetoric goes back and forth in the church, right? You got all these pastors taking a side. You know, we shouldn't have ICE agents anyway. And then you got people on the other side going, well, she needs to follow the law. If they told you to get out, just turn off the car and get out. You got other people saying, why were you there anyway? You got young kids. What are you doing? The other people saying, well, they're peacefully protesting. The other says, well, they're not peacefully protesting, they're using a vehicle. Now, footnote, in the same state of Minnesota, just a few weeks before, a cop got ran over. And in getting ran over, he had busted out the window to get the guy to turn off the car. His arm is in the window, and the guy takes off in the car, and it wasn't just any guy. It was a child rapist from a South American country who he was trying to arrest. He drug him for 200 yards, and because he had broke that window, it sliced his arm, and then he ran him over. So there has been a heightened security of, your ICE agents need to protect yourselves, especially in front of vehicles, because we have numerous reports now being hit by vehicles. So you got the heightened awareness, you got people doing this, and people, here's what I want to submit to you guys, people need to be pastored in these moments. And part of us being good pastors is not seeing this, objectively or even subjectively. But part of us as being pastors is toning down that rhetoric and being able to see both sides of the coin and being able to see that and offer some type of godly biblical wisdom in these seasons. And I just don't, maybe they are and I don't hear it because, my algorithm don't show me. But I feel like if all of us pastors could get on the same page and we could say things like, hey, should have never went down like this. How can we prevent this? What do we need to do? Does that make sense? I want to be more of a solution than just an echo chamber. And so I'm submitting that to you guys. What are some things we could do different? Like how can we be more of a solution? Like what type of healing can we bring that we might just get more? I think more people want to get in the middle. They just need a person who's in the middle giving that voice.
I think you touched on it. At the end of the day, whether or not you believe in whoever is doing the commenting or commentating on the video, you have I think he was a male officer who feared for his life and shot this woman. You have a woman who not going home to her kids. And so these are real people in real situations. And so I think the more that we can do to see ourselves in somebody else's shoes allows us to at least start to meet somewhat halfway in the middle. To try to read motive into why she drove off, to try to read motive on why she was really there. Well, you don't know.
Right.
You don't know unless she had some kind of like written statement of, I'm going to this thing today and this is what I'm going to do. Like, right. You don't really know. And then on the other side, like, you painted a picture of what this ICE agent, may have already had in his head going into work that day.
Right.
Like at the end of the day, I'm going home.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but law enforcement, at the end of the day, their whole goal is to what?
Yeah, go home.
To go home to your family.
Go home.
So, yeah.
And so to read motive into each different person is just, it makes people become numbers. And it takes that humanity out of it. And so I think that what we have to do at the end of the day is we have to say, hey, families' lives are ruined forever. Mm-hmm. And so how do we get to a place where we can sit at a table again and, have peaceful protests and not be so on edge? So I don't have an answer to you, but maybe those are some things.
That's good thoughts. What about you, Bishop? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, there's people every day not going home to their families because they made a stupid decision. That happens all the time.
Okay.
So I mean, if you're going to have the bleeding heart for that, I mean, you can go look that up and go to the county jail and see people who made decisions that should be in jail.
Yeah.
Because they made decisions that hurt other people and their families are ruined for it. Mm-hmm. That's happening every day.
Okay.
So you need to listen to law enforcement.
Okay.
I mean,
go ahead. I was going to ask you that. Mm-hmm.
That's just a matter of fact. That's what you have to do. I mean, if you're not there, you're not committing a crime, you're going to get let go free. If you're there just to protest and just to cause disruption, then you can go do that. But you can't. You have to realize your vehicle is a weapon, and law enforcement is going to protect themselves.
Can I ask you a question? And I want you guys to be honest. I know this sounds silly, but I'm really being honest. Had you heard of ICE before this last year, before 2025? Had you heard of ICE?
I know.
Yeah. Do you know? Okay, yeah. But what did you know of them?
Well, I knew they deported people.
Okay.
Or they looked for people. I knew that.
Okay, but did you look disfavorably on them? Like, did you know they were noticeable? Like, did you have any thoughts? Okay. Did you know anything about ICE before this?
No, I mean, it's, depending on which kid you're talking to. Sometimes kids will make jokes.
Okay. Yeah. No, I get it. But I guess what I'm saying is I didn't have any real thoughts about ICE up until 2025. And to be honest with you guys, I've had my own fair shares of running with the police, some good, some bad, some indifferent. I didn't really know much about ICE, but I'm not going to lie to you. If I was ICE being treated the way I've been treated here lately, did you know that Hilton had to come out and separate themselves from a Hilton subsidiary, which is this is a Hilton brand that's owned by a private individual, because a lady who worked in the front office where a bunch of ICE agents were staying, she doxed them. She put where they live, all that information out on the internet for people to come harass them. And I thought, my honest feelings is she should be persecuted. I mean, she should be prosecuted. Full extent to the law. I don't care. Full extent to the law. She should be prosecuted. You can't do that to people. You cannot do that to people when that's supposed to be private information. I don't know how many laws that broke, but you need to get punished for every single one of them. Teach you a lesson. Because you know why? Because what if that was you? And I think there's this unfavorability because we're not handling things as mature adults. Like the mayor of Minneapolis getting out to telling ICE to get the F out. Bro, you're a sitting official. Y'all get mad when Trump talks like that, but nobody was getting mad when he talks like that. We should be equally as mad when anybody talks like that. What you should be doing if you want ICE out is cooperate, let them do what they need to do, and then they can leave themselves. Then they can leave. But I think there's this disfavorability because I was always taught, Bishop, okay? And you guys have been with me, you know? I was always taught when the police ask you to do something, you need to do it. Now, me specifically, recognizing time and place, color of my skin, and who I am, I take things up a notch. I remember getting pulled over. I keep my hands at the 10 and 2. If they need me to get my vehicle and registration, I'll let them know my registration is in the glove box. And I say it just like this. I'm going to take my right hand and I'm opening my glove box. There's nothing in there. I have no weapons. But I'm going to go ahead and get that vehicle registration, license, insurance, what you're asking for. It's yes, sir, no, sir, yes, officer, no, officer. End of the day, I want to get home to my wife and my kids. I ain't trying to risk no chances. You know, has that always worked out? No, I've been harassed. I got no problem saying that. But I don't judge one bad cop and say all cops are bad. Because equally as I've been harassed, I've been helped by cops. And so I say, no, everyone's on their own merit and everybody deserves the benefit of the doubt until proven otherwise. But I obey. I think I told this story a couple months ago on the podcast. I was on you guys know I do my walks on Saturdays and Sundays. I think I told you the story. And I was walking down Herndon and Fowler over by the 168 bridge. And I was on my phone. I can't remember if I was switching up a song, podcast, or it's either worship music, the Bible, or a podcast. So it was one of the three, you know, or I was taking notes about the podcast or something. I was on my phone. I wasn't paying any attention. Cop pulls up, but he shines the light on me, right? Like he shines the light on me. I didn't see him because I wasn't paying attention, and I fell into a rose bush. It's just you know, it's hilarious. And he rolls down the window, and I can see him laughing. So I start laughing. He's laughing. And he literally says to me, he goes, "You're not the guy I'm looking for." And I go, "Okay, thanks." Like, I get it. Now, he could have busted my chops. Mm-hmm. But I also know, see, I could have got mad. But I do know for the last couple of weekends, there was a guy, a very suspect guy, dressed pretty similar to me. Not the same build, but dressed pretty similar, who was walking that neighborhood I walked because I saw him. I saw him in the morning. So I didn't get mad. I didn't think anything of it. He laughed. I laughed. We got a good laugh. And I just think if we don't tone down the rhetoric, then we're keeping it at a fever pitch and someone's going to get hurt. So what am I saying? End of the day, I don't like the fact that the end result is death. I don't like the end result that was with weapons and guns. But I equally don't like that you used your car. You shouldn't have been blocking. You shouldn't have been impeding. You shouldn't have revved up the gas. You shouldn't have. If he said get out the car, if he tells you to get out the car, what you doing? I'm getting out. I'm getting out. Why? Because I already know, right? And I think we've lost this. And I think we just need people. I hate to use this analogy, but this is the only thing I can think of right here. I used to like. There's an old ref that used to coach. That used to do a lot of championship boxing matches. Richard Steele. It's great. I liked him as well. You know Richard Steele? Yeah. Yeah. He used to say two things. He goes, "I'm firm and I'm fair." We got to be firm and fair. And that's where I'm at. Michael, asking you, as pastors, if people come up to talk to us and to discuss these things, right? Because you guys know, if it ain't this, it's going to be something else. How can we best pastor people? So if they're watching us right now, what's the best pastor advice you can give people? Right? It could be the Venezuela thing. It could be this ICE. It's bound to be something else. What's the best way we can pastor for other pastors watching, for those who are watching it, who are parishioners? What can we do? How can we tone this down a little bit?
I think one tool that we can use is finding like the root of their angst. Like, hey, why did this bother you? Oh, well, I had a cousin who was killed by the police.
That's a great perspective.
Okay. So all right. So this is triggering for you. Okay. Yeah. Why does this bother you? Because my parents, they came from Mexico, right? Okay. Yeah. Which I could see that. So trying to get to the root of why this person is coming up to you, because the scenario is that the person's coming up to you and they're kind of like wanting to work this out. Okay, so whatever it is, let's work it out, and really just asking those kind of probing questions to figure out where this person is coming from will help us to determine like how to move forward.
So good.
And because if not, I feel like sometimes we're just chasing. What do they say? Herding cats.
Yes.
It's just because today I help you out with this, and then tomorrow's going to be something different.
That was good. What do you want to add to that? How can we maybe be on the parishioner side of a person who's asking that question? What advice would you give them? Like how could they be blessed by this segment right here, and what they can do, how they can respond?
Yeah, Mike brings up a great point, because you're always trying to figure out like why does this matter to you, and if something really does like move you and like touches you. How can you love the people around you better?
Okay. How
can you serve that community better? Well, what can you do? Because getting mad about this and just being frustrated and then going online, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't move the needle.
You're right.
Yeah. So how
right.
can you take this energy and actually go help people, make an impact in people who really do need help? Maybe you go help, like, how can I help people become citizens? Like, is there any role I can play in that? Like, how can you help people, do that process? So take that energy and actually go do something with it. Because a lot of people who have ideas about things and how to help people, or this is how you should do it, this is how it should work, but really don't do nothing. And but there's people out there who really want to help people. Maybe you can go support them.
I think both of you, that's worth its weight in gold. I hope people really take the time to really lean into what you both said, because it comes down to what you just said. If you really want to move the needle, you're going to have to do something. You can't just complain about it. I love that. That was so good. Okay, another thing that kind of broke the internet, our favorite pastor's back in the news. No, it's not the one you're thinking of. So, Jamal Bryant. Good old Pastor Jamal Bryant.
Are we mixed on him? Like, is
no,
the Christian...
No, there's no mix.
But is the Christian community mixed on him?
I suppose they are, because
there's
people,
some pastors that
love him.
He's an Atlanta pastor, which means they don't follow Jesus. I'm sure there's a great church in Atlanta. Is there? You know any of them?
Well, Philip Michael Anthony's in Philip Anthony Mitchell's in Atlanta.
Oh, that dude. Yeah,
he's good.
Yeah, he's all right.
No, he's good. He's good. He's biblical.
He's biblical. He yells a lot.
He does. A little too much yelling for you, but I like him.
He's coming out defending Jordans and everything. It was like, well,
I like Jordan.
I like Jordan. Threes, they're my favorite. Okay. Jamal Bryant in the news because people were criticizing his wife. She wore like a it says transparent dress.
No.
But like a dude. It's blurred out for our sakes, but listen to him defend his wife and how she dresses.
The other day, the internet went crazy about a dress my wife had on. Now, they didn't say anything about the $4 million that was raised for the United Negro College Fund. They never mentioned that she prayed until heaven came down. But insecure, jealous, petty, small-minded people got in their feelings and set up a false barometer of holiness based off of a dress. The dress was not see-through. The dress was flesh color. I need to set the record straight. I bought the dress. And I like it. I don't care whether you like it or not. She ain't mad to y'all. She mad to me. If you wanted a first lady that looked like Little House on the Prairie and Holly Hobbie, you got the wrong church. I wanted a wife I would rush home to, that I wanted to be excited to see. When we walked in there, I said, shake it fast, watch yourself.
Okay.
He said it. They at the wrong church. Listen to the man. Get up out of there.
Oh, gosh.
Best thing you said.
That was the best one-liner right there, Bishop. That was good. Why? Why?
No one cares. I mean, that's what I'm talking about, like the Jordan thing. Like, people don't care about. I'm not against Jordans or wearing hats, whatever. Well, I am kind of against wearing hats, but I don't. But people just don't care. Like, there's no sense of like, no, this is who you are. God has put you in this position. Now live up to that position. Like, honor that position. Have some restraint. Don't take all your liberty and all the freedom that you have in Christ. Like, it's why does it have to come up on a Sunday? Because your stupid decision. Like, if this is what you want. Well, obviously, I think this is what he wants. He loves this controversy. But it's like, what's there promoting Christ? So maybe you want to rethink about how you're doing life. But he doesn't care, because as long as he has the money and the church grows, he doesn't care. So you constantly see from him how much Christ is in him. And I don't see much of it.
So what I'm hearing you say, to be honest with you, is, yeah, I know, huh? We can say, yeah, just go ahead and write that down, Mike. Not much of Christ in him. Okay. And moving right along, back to the Oregon Ducks. So what I was saying was, I feel, this is just my personal opinion, not that you said anything wrong. You said everything right. I feel like this is how he makes his brand, is off division, off what we would call suspect things, off what we would call gray area living.
For sure.
This is, I think he feels justified in, hey, this is how I get my name out there, is by being divisive. He's making his brand off of being divisive. The more controversial, the more I could do this, the more I'm going to hear people to me. And guess what? You know who you're not adhering people to? Christ. If you've got to get up and spend 10 minutes of your sermon defending your wife's dress decision, I'm going to say that was a poor choice, in my opinion. And I think it's sad, because now you got the whole church up in a roar, right? You got all these pastors defending him. Well, it's his wife. She can wear what she wants to. And one of them even said, that's just a whole bunch of Jezebels getting mad at her. I was like, nah, I think your theology's off there, because it said Jezebel adorned herself. I think you're a little backwards there. But now we got the church, right? And it's like, see what you did? You didn't bring the church together. You divided the church. All because of what? She's supposed to be a first lady. Am I wrong?
No, he's too bold about the wrong things. I literally was thinking this morning.
Okay.
Like, they were talking about Iran, and a lot of people are coming to Christ.
Huge amounts.
And I was like, man, what if we were to go to Iran and start a church? Like, well, like how like amazing that would be, just to get people to come to Christ. That's the boldness you want to have.
Yeah.
That's what you don't want to be. I'm not ashamed of the gospel. Like, go to your gym and tell someone about Jesus when you're afraid. That's the boldness you're supposed to have, not to wear a dress. That's not the boldness that you're supposed to have in Christ.
Right.
That, oh, I'm free. I can do whatever I want. This is my wife. Like, you're missing it. Like, I just don't understand who this guy is and why people follow him. It's just people are so deceived to follow this guy.
And why would you want to do anything that would then end up in the tabloids as a controversial thing and then defend it? Why not just get up and say, hey, you know what? I made a poor decision, and I just want to apologize to y'all. I don't want this to be the focal point of what we need to talk about. I'm just here to promote the gospel. Why is that so hard?
Because that's not what you're really wanting to do. You're wanting to promote yourself. It's branding. People are trying to create a brand, and they do it in various ways. Some people promote a brand because they are skillful and they actually have talent. Okay. So whether that be a musician or an artist, some people promote their brand by doing dumb stuff. They just go out there and try to do trick shots and fails and things like that, right? You're creating a brand. His brand, from what it looks like, is that he's a shock value pastor. We talked about his thoughts on smoking weed and stuff like that. And
you're right. I forgot. You're right. We did that one.
You're quoting Mystical, like when was the last time anybody quoted a Mystical song?
Yeah.
We're talking, and so everything that he says that he would want to do, his actions actually cancel those things.
Oh, okay.
So what I mean by that is he says, nobody's talking about the $4 million that we gave to the United Negro College Fund. Nobody's talking about, or that they raised, or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Nobody's talking about how this woman was praying and things
So
like
heaven
that.
came down.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
right.
What you would really want to highlight, the things that are worthwhile, you don't, because you want to be clickbait.
So good.
And
So good.
you're not really wanting those things to be highlighted. You're wanting you to be highlighted. You're not really wanting the gospel to be highlighted. You're wanting you to be highlighted. And so instead of me having a really good sermon, I'm going to say some stuff like smoking weed's not bad. And nobody's clicking on my sermon. They're clicking on my clickbait. And so I'm creating the brand. That's all he's doing, is creating a brand.
Both of you, so good, so good. And see, that's what gets me, is all the good you did is negated. It's literally reduced down to everybody's talking about the dress your wife wore. And I'm with you guys. I don't get it. I feel like we've lost the spirit of John. I must decrease so that he must increase. And we've picked up the spirit of the world. I must increase that Christ might decrease, because Christ isn't my brand. I am. And I feel like it's that tension. And I feel like we're losing the tension. I'm glad for the people in my life speaking to me, even though it's at a distance, speaking to me in a distance, right? Of the Jeff Littles. Let's bring pastoring back. No more platform performers. No more preachers with sneakers. No more celebrity pastors. No more hyper priesthoods. No more any of that. We need to bring pastoring back. And the goal of pastoring is to make sure your sheep win and all glory goes to God. It's not to adhere people to you. It's to adhere people to Christ. It's not to recognize your voice. It's to recognize the voice of the Lord. And that's what we have to get back to. And doing this type of stuff isn't working anymore. That's so 2019. All glory needs to go to God. A little less of this and a little bit more CJ Stroud. God gets the glory because he's worthy of all praise. It's just unfortunate. Let's dive into what we've been reading to. Hello, Ezekiel. So I have to do it because I said I was going to do it. You have to talk about Ezekiel 23. We're not going to read it.
We're not going to read it.
We're not going to read it. We agree we're not going to read it. We agreed we weren't going to read it.
I mean, we can call him. He can read it.
Oh, good Lord. Man, that was too much right there. It's too much, Mike. And people are wondering why. Just go read Ezekiel 23. Just make sure nobody around. Bishop, you and I had a conversation before we ever jumped on the podcast. And I was joking with you. I was like, hey, when I read Ezekiel 23, I did ask myself, what is in there for? Why is God allowing this to be written? Some people could see it as vulgar. At the worst, it was like, whoa, that's TMI. And at the least, it was like, whoa, a little spicy, right? But you went on to give me an answer that I thought was great, and I would love for you to share that with our listeners. We're talking everything Bible now, right? Because we talk about culture and its influence of the church, and this is a right now word. This is a right now word. Could you share who your insight was from, and then a little bit of what was going on, please?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go super deep into studying it, but I listened to J. Vernon McGee. It's through the Bible. It's on the podcast. You can listen.
Solid
to it.
Bible teacher, might I add. Solid Bible teacher.
And so he does like quick overviews. And part of it, what he had mentioned is this chapter is real graphic, but part of it's like it's that way because God is not sugarcoating their sin.
Okay.
He's making it aware, like, no, what you're doing, this is what you're doing. This is how disgusting your sinfulness is. This is the way you guys think. This is the way you guys act. And I want to make it plain. I don't want to try to skirt around it. I'm going to call the sin for what it is.
Ooh.
We get on stage and I think it's right as pastors. You don't say all the detail. You don't say all those things. You want to keep it PG because you don't know who's in the room.
Right.
And you don't want people's minds to go around. But God in this moment is like, no, you need to hear this. And this is what you're doing. And that's why you're going to get the punishment you're going to get.
Okay, I heard it though when I read it. You know what I mean? Like I heard it. Like that was good. But that's very good insight. I love what you said. God is not going to sugarcoat your sin. He's going to call it for what it is. And I am grateful. I'm grateful. I love the Bible. And I love how the Bible doesn't sugarcoat stories. It doesn't hide David's sin. It doesn't hide Samson's weakness. It doesn't hide Moses' moment of stupidity, striking that rock when he was told to speak to it. It doesn't hide the frailties of who we are. Noah's drunkenness, Lot's perversions. It doesn't Abraham's being somewhat seduced, right, and secluded into having this other decision and having this child out of wedlock. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't hide it. Even down to the apostles in Matthew 20:18, some came ready to worship and others doubted. It shows you the humanistic side of people. And here again, God says, I'm going to show you that if I don't give you the grace you need to live your life, this is how you will end up.
And this is how evil you are when when you don't worship and obey me. This is what it is. When you go worship something else, this is how it looks to me. This is what God said, this is what I see.
Okay, I know you've had this happen. You have people come up to you after you preach, oh, Pastor, that was so good. You know, and they tell you, man, you know, such a man of God, I look up to you, I respect you. You know what I usually tell people sometimes? Oh, no, man, not me. Like, and people think it's false humility. You know what I mean? Like they think I'm playing coy. And I try to tell everybody, like, I think I said it yesterday. And like, y'all gotta understand, I'm evil. The Bible says if you who are evil know how to give good gifts to your kids, how much more the Holy Spirit? The only good you see in me is because I'm allowing the Holy Spirit to live through me. At the base of who I am, I know we probably shouldn't quote this guy, but was it Chris Rock who said most men would give in to their temptations if they had what? The opportunity. Hey, listen, I'm only here because I'm choosing to say yes to the Lord and no to my flesh. But do you know how many times a day I want to say yes to my flesh? Trust me, I understand why Jesus told us there's no good in us. There really isn't. And the good you do see is all to the glory of God. And it's only from my yes of just saying, yeah, Lord, I'll do that. Yes, Lord, I'll surrender. Because if I was left up all by myself, Lord, leading me not into temptation, I will get there myself. And it shows us how bad and evil we really are. So I tell people, no, that's all the glory of God. Hey, I'm just one step ahead of you, one foot in front of the other. You could do this too. But it's not that I'm holier. I think I said it a little joking way yesterday. I've had my moments in Costco too. Referring to people cutting you off long lines. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Did you read something this week? Thank you for that insight. Did you read something this week or over this last couple of weeks in Ezekiel? I knew we had Pastor Dino on. Shout out that podcast last week. If you did not listen to it, you need to listen to it. But we didn't get a chance to, this is 2 weeks worth of reading. But was there any Ezekiel chapter that stood out to you?
Today's reading, we were in 26. And it says in verse 7, it says, for this is what the sovereign Lord says, from the north I'm going to bring against Tyre, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, king of kings, with horses and chariots, with horsemen, and a great army. I'll just say what I wrote. What does it say about God? God may allow a person or a group of people to succeed when doing something evil against another, but every dog has its day. And when you live in a way that doesn't honor God, he will bring you to your knees. And I actually saw yours as well this morning, your devotion, and just the idea of, like, I think sometimes I feel like I need to be judge, jury, and executioner. And it's just that's a very slippery slope to be on, because I don't want that. I don't want somebody else to be judge, jury, and executioner for me. But also at the same time, I think what happens with me personally is that I can become very hard-hearted. Hard-hearted, yeah. And I want to bring vengeance, and I want to bring justice to a certain situation. But in what happens in that process is that I become very vigilant. And so anyway, just, Tyre came against Israel, and then Nebuchadnezzar came and took them out. And so God is judge, jury, and executioner. God is the one who, you will have your day, whether if it ain't today, and if it's not tomorrow, it'll be someday. You never get away with everything. Wow. And so anyway, that was just kind of my, like, hey, allow God to do God, and you just have a soft heart and love people.
I always tell myself, just stay in your lane. You gotta stay in your lane, because the way you want vengeance for your injustice is the way people want vengeance against you for what you did to them. So I gotta stay in my lane. I fight those thoughts though. Man, what about you? You like that one too? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the idea of the city, Tyre, and this. I was looking into it like this morning, and it was a small area, but also very like powerful in terms of economics and trade. And it's almost like a New York, like LA combined. Like they had a lot of influence, had a lot of power. And God says, basically, I'm gonna tear you down.
And you'll never be the same again.
You'll never be the same again.
They weren't.
You're gonna go to be fishing like a community, then to now to be nothing.
Because Jesus cursed them.
Yeah, and so it's just crazy to think. And I thought about even this America, and even with the Venezuela thing, and like I was like, man, America, we dope. Like, you know, like we go in, we turn off the lights, take your president, and take him back here. Like, and no one of our people get hurt. Like, we bomb all you guys' stuff. Like, you had China, everyone should be scared of what we could do now. And we could be boastful and we can all this stuff. It's like, we got to be careful. But the pride that we have, this is this place that has all this power and all this money. And God says it's gone. There's no one around them to take it from them in this way. They could be boastful. And so we can look at America right now and it's like, who can touch us right now? Look what we can do. We can come in and take your president off a military base. Who can touch us? China, what you got?
With
Russia,
armed guards.
It's like, this is what we can do. We have all the money. We have all the power. And God says, if I want you gone, this the words in my mouth, you're done. So as a nation, we have to be careful. And us as individuals, we have to be careful that when God puts us in a place and we have the finances and we have all God has blessed us with, that we don't look down upon other people, because it's in a moment I could simply take that.
I couldn't agree more. I love Pastor Jeff Little's heart. He said the more God gives you, the more you should steward well. And you should always look to help somebody. It's not to be boastful, it's to be helpful. It's to be able to understand that God has given you and blessed you so that you can help those who cannot help themselves.
In the chapters before, if I could find one man,
that's it,
to stand in the gap,
I'd use him. Yeah,
like he could save this nation.
Yeah,
but all he could find was pride and
that's
people
it.
who didn't want to stand in the gap.
You know, Bishop, and even hearing you say that about Tyree, you know, if I'm not mistaken, they're on the Via Maris. Tyree was on the Via Maris. So the Via Maris split in two over by the Sea of Galilee, one going toward the Mediterranean, one going towards the east on the China Silk Road. And they were brought down to nothing. And you're 100% right about us here in America. Yeah, we do have a dope military. Fly all night, bomb Iran. We do have a dope military. Go turn the light. They did. They used some secret weapon. It turned out all the lights, kidnapped the guys, armed guards. Okay, that's great. But if we don't help the least of these, if God were to truly judge our motives, I'm concerned. And that's why we as the church, we have to call it biblical. I'm not even going to say call it fair. We have to call it biblical. So yes, we should be doing things for other people. We should be helping the marginalized. We should do the things that God has commanded us to do. And one of them is to not get boastful. It's to not be proud. It's to not have this ideology that is idolology. But it is to be those who say, hey, God has platformed us enough. Let us go help others. Let's go be generous. Let's go make sure Nigerians can worship God in safety. Let's go make sure if there's Iranians who want to worship the Lord, they can with freedom. We need to do that. We need to do that. I understand that this whole agenda, getting rid of a dictator leader over there. Okay, I get that. But if we forget the small things, feeding the hungry, taking care of, how about just protecting kids? That's Tim Tebow. Protect kids. Protect kids. That's God's heart. How about taking care of the widows? Do you see what I'm saying? And I think that's what keeps you humble. That's what keeps you humble. The church better watch itself. We can't get caught up in all this. We need to say, go back to what we're reading in Ezekiel. He just wants one man who will cry out for all the injustices. That's what we do as believers. We cannot turn blind eyes.
Yeah, we're not ICE agents. We're called to love people.
That's it.
I'm not an agent. I don't carry a badge. I don't care if you're legal or illegal.
I need to love you.
That's it.
And I think that's what God is asking us to do. Now, part of loving you is if they did come for you, I'm going to tell you to turn yourself in peacefully so nobody gets hurt. In the same breath, I'm also going to go look for you a lawyer. Can we not do both? Jesus did both, right? Jesus did both. He said, go and sin no more. You've been healed. Caught that guy doing the same thing. What'd he say? Knock that off. Lest something worse happens to you. You can't. One time he told Peter, hey, you have to take your sword. You might have to fight your way out of this. The next time you know what he said, put your sword away. Now's not the time. Don't do that. We could do both. And I think as a church, we need to advocate for both. Period. Point blank. Okay, let's talk about the sermon. I'm going to ask you guys' opinion. Did I do a little too much with my opening statement in talking about, people are making all these New Year's goals and preferred future. And with that, some mental health, so they go out and get them a therapist, which I'm supportive of. They want to get their weight down, they go out and get a trainer. They want to get their finances in order, they go out and get a financial advisor. And then I said, but in order to get your spiritual life right, you got to get a pastor. And I said, we're all going to ask you the same question. What does your preferred future look like? Do you feel like I went too long on that opening? Did I not do a good enough job explaining it? Or do you feel like I did exactly what I was supposed to do? And kudos to me. And let's start talking about that. Well, how do you think I did? I was really concerned about my opening.
No, I mean, I thought the idea of preferred future, I mean, that's that first part, that's what I got of it, is that preferred future and a job of a pastor is to help you spiritually.
Okay.
And I know for me personally, it was like, man, that's what this idea of a trainer and a good dietitian, like, they're going to tell you the truth. You're not going to lose weight unless you stop eating so much. Like, it really comes down that simple. Now, there's techniques and all these things that try to help you through that process. There's progression over time to help you. But you got to stop eating so much food.
So Taco Tuesdays were gone.
Or you can do it once a month.
Okay.
Like,
yes.
Progressions.
Back on the menu, boys.
Or 2 tacos on Taco Tuesday.
We all know it's at least 6 minimum. Come on, guys.
And so I think of me as a pastor,
okay.
I have to be willing to tell people the truth.
Okay.
And I can't be always afraid. Now, there's a way you say it. A trainer needs to say it a certain way. Like, you don't want them there criticizing you the whole time.
You're right.
Same thing as a pastor. I want to say it in a certain way, love them, but I got to tell you the truth. I have this preferred future for you. And if I don't tell you the truth, you're never going to get there. And so I think that's a challenge that I struggle with, is like, I want to love people, but sometimes I'm not always willing to tell them just the hard truth because I'm afraid they're going to reject it or reject me or leave the church. But at times you have to be okay with that. As a trainer, you have to be okay with that. Yeah. Otherwise, he'll get mad at you anyways. Because
they didn't lose the weight.
I paid you all this money and nothing changed.
Yeah.
And so, like, you have to be, and as the person who is getting pastored, you have to be willing to hear the hard things. Find someone who you can trust, who you believe really cares about you, and let them speak the hard things to you to get you to that preferred future. Because usually that way to the preferred future, salvation, man, is easy. All you got to do is believe.
You're right.
I mean, you have a clip up there. I don't know if you're showing it. It's
this
dope.
One?
It's so good.
Yeah, it's the best. Yes.
Man, it's easy.
Yep.
All you got to do is receive Christ. Now, getting to what God wants you to be, man, this could be difficult.
Woo.
Rejecting the sin and living out the life in the way God wants you, it's going to be difficult. Have someone in your life who's willing to tell you how to get to that preferred future and who's going to love you on the way.
Man, that was good. What you want to follow that up with?
Nothing.
Okay. Now I did say.
I mean,
I was going to ask you. Okay, that was good. Okay. I was going to ask you, did I make sense when I told them, hey, we didn't just come up with these classes for you because we were bored. We came up with these classes because we feel like these classes will bless you. We feel like this is going to make you a better husband. It's going to make you a better believer. It's going to make you a better associate at job, at your job or whatever. I felt like I wanted to do a good job explaining the intent of these classes. Wasn't because we were all sitting around bored thinking about, how, what we're going to do. We're bored with ourselves. It was to help you to achieve your preferred future. Go ahead.
I thought you did a good job as we're playing Monday Morning Quarterback and looking back on it.
I love me some Monday Morning Quarterback.
In hindsight, I can see why you set up the role of the pastor at the beginning, because it really is important that people understand that, like, we're not just doing stuff just to do stuff.
Okay.
And then one of the things I really admire about you that as a leader is that you never have us do things that you haven't already done, or B like you have us do things that you feel will work. And I think one of the shifts that we have to make when we go to church is, am I attending or do I have a pastor? And I know that was a jump that I made, and you use this word and I use it after I've heard you say it, but I don't really know exactly if I know I'm saying it right. But demarcations, right? Yeah. So I look. Looking back in my life, like I remember the phone call. I remember where I was at. I remember what the weather was like. And this is pretty good for me for somebody who has bad memory. of when you and I had a conversation, and you essentially said, there was a whole backstory to this, but you essentially said, well, you get to choose in your life who I'm going to be to you. And I was making decisions, but I wasn't involving you in some of these major decisions. But I had never had a pastor, so I didn't know what that relationship was supposed to be like.
Yeah.
Because I said, well, what am I supposed to have you involved in every decision I make? And you said, well, that's up to you.
I don't remember any of this, but that sounds just like me. Yeah.
You said, hey, well, that's up to you. You get to determine
Right.
what role I have in your life.
Yeah.
And from that point forward, I had a pastor. I had never had a pastor before that.
Okay.
Now I had just moved down here, so it was for context for people. It wasn't like I had been here for 15 years and I was just whatever. But I think that's the shift that people need to make who are attending church every week is, am I going to attend church or am I going to be pastored? And when they are pastored, they have to lean in and trust that we aren't just creating classes just for you to do because we get paid if you come and attend on a Wednesday night. Like this isn't public school where we get paid per your attendance. But the things that are at our church or at Pastor Matt's church or other people's church, like the classes, you have to trust that the pastor has prayed through and developed these classes because they believe that you specifically who are attending their specific church will grow and be blessed if you take them.
Thank you for sharing that, both of you guys. So good. I know this is going to sound like a loaded question. I don't mean for it to sound like a loaded question. I mean for it to be very practical. So even if I don't get this right, please hear my heart, okay? Because I don't mean it in a crass way or anything. There's nothing to read into. I just have a legitimate, honest question. When you think about personal trainer, you think about financial advisor, you think about even an LMFT or a therapist or a psychiatrist. All of that cost something, right? I know my therapist, I think, was $120 or $125 a visit. Okay? Personal trainers, depending if they're a dietitian or not. I know I have a friend who does group classes. It's $40 a class. Okay? Personal training could be $100 a session. Add in the dietitian and meal planning, it just gets up there. You see where I'm going with this. Financial advisor usually wants a cut up front and a cut of the earnings that he helps you to make. Okay? All of this cost. Do you feel like because pastoring is free that people might not take it as serious and put the skin in the game? And if so, if there was a cost, do you think you would adhere to it? Let me explain why I say that. I'll just pick on me before, and we're not picking on anybody, but I'm going to just pick on me. I remember being in counseling, and my wife and I had hit a rough patch in the marriage, and we had two options: either get shipped out and go to this place in Colorado, which was going to cost about $3,000, or we could stay here and get immediate attention and care. Well, that immediate attention and care for the first, I think, month was 3 times a week. And yeah, you do the math on that. That got real expensive. And I remember having a not so good Anthony moment inside therapy session and getting into my car. And thank God we took 2 cars, because it would have been a nasty fight on the way home. I'm not afraid to admit that. You might call it strong disagreement, But no, it was a fight. And I remember saying to myself, oh no, I called Pastor Ron. And I was complaining, boy. All they do is pick on me. Like I'm the big bad wolf and I'm the problem. I'm the source of everybody's problem here. Pastor Ron, so loving, so kind, so gentle. I know what he wants to say. You are the problem, but he didn't. He said to me, Anthony, in his, Pastor Ron's voice, real calm, real soothing, like that. He said, Anthony, you're paying for this. This is costing you a lot of money. You might want to consider leaning in and getting the surgery over with, or this is going to end up costing you even more money. He always had a way of putting things to me that I understand. I was like, he is so right. I probably need to reconsider this and probably go in a little bit more open-minded and open-hearted. I made that switch that day. So I was like, you know what? If I'm here, I might as well get what I'm paying for. And so I just submit that to you guys, using my own story, my own personal trauma here as a joke. But I just feel like if people don't put skin in the game, I'm not saying they got to pay us, but participate in these classes to go all in as if they were paying something. I feel like if people don't put in the skin in the game, if they don't put in their portion that's due, I said it yesterday, by combined work the miracle with God, they're not going to get the full benefit. Am I wrong? Do you see where I'm coming from? Or do you think I'm off a little bit? I don't know. Who wants to chime in on that one?
You got one?
Man, I do think when people have to pay for something, they value it more. But I think people don't, in general, at times will discount the spiritual life. The spiritual aspect of the pastor can bring. You're gonna value more of looking good because you can see that.
Okay.
It's into your own vanity. Okay. Like I want people to see me. I want people to see I look good. I want to look good in my dress. Like all these type of things. Or look good in my my suit, whatever it may be. If people value that more, so they're gonna listen to. I was talking to someone, and it's funny. People have a hard time in their life. They don't have people even speak to their lives. So they're not even used to that. Okay. I was talking to a guy, and he was like talking about his. I was like, yeah, you want to get have someone pastor you. You might find someone to like speak in your life about finances or about marriage. It was like, you tell people about your finances? Like, I was like, well, someone's better than me. Yeah. Why not want to get better? And to him, he was just like, well, that makes sense. but I'm
people, tired of being broke.
But people, a lot of people, especially from different cultures, they don't share anything.
Right, you're right.
So they're just closed off in general. Yeah. So to have someone even speak into their lives, it's weird. It's like, you're trying to control me. This is like something's wrong with you. And so for them to even get over that, so I think it's a lot of different hurdles for people. I do think it's something's free that you don't value it. I don't think people value their spiritual life at times as much as other things. Wow. And just having someone even just be a part of your life that you can trust, I think some people even a big hurdle with just in general is like, man, is this safe? Or is this going to come back in my face later on? So good. And just to have someone to care for you. So I think as pastors, you're always trying to navigate, I think, a bunch of different things.
Man, that was good. You want to piggyback off that?
I definitely agree with all of that. And I was trying to think of, I had a thought in regards to how people use us is not the right way to say it, okay? But how people will use pastors, I think oftentimes it's like, you want us to be the surgeon. Oh. But you don't want us to be your like primary physician.
Wow, that's a great illustration. Go ahead with that.
So like the primary will tell you, hey, these are the changes that you need to make to stay healthy. This is what I'm noticing in your labs.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and diagnose this, and let's go ahead and come back. Let's talk about it. Let's see if those changes have helped.
Love it.
But especially most dudes, like we don't want to go to primary.
No,
right?
No.
Just tell me.
I had the same speech for like 7 years running. You're fat, lose weight. Yeah, I don't want to see it.
And so, but people will. But they'll call they won't.
No
call
problem
me.
with the surgeon. No problem with the surgeon. Yeah.
Well, they won't call me for 2 years,
right?
And then they call me because they're in jail.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Well, Brett,
yeah.
Like you're calling the surgeon now because you didn't lose weight and now you had a heart attack.
Yeah. And people never have a problem with the surgeon because they know the surgeon's going to do the quick fix.
Yeah, but you're looking for a quick fix.
Yeah. Yes.
And it make me feel good now.
Yes.
Right, like our marriage is at a place now where she left me.
Fix me now.
I've gone back into my addiction, and it's like, well, remember we talked 8 months ago, and we had a game plan for what you were wanting to do, but you didn't want to listen to the game plan and what was put in place, and now you're wanting the surgeon to come in and fix you. And I can't do that. I can't fix you. Good. And so, but I think a lot of that is rooted in what he was saying. Just the cultural stereotypes in itself of I'm not allowing you into my life not because I dislike you, but because we just don't do that. Man. And so anyway, I think there's a lot of hurdles to getting into the place of pastoring, and then once you get to the place of pastoring, I would much rather somebody use me as their primary rather than a surgeon.
Both of you knocked it out of the park again. I love that illustration. I love that cultural reference of what's going on, even in being just dudes in general. That's why I can't stress enough our Tuesday night Bible studies. We get to let the mask down. We get to be real guys. Nobody's picked on. We don't pick on the guys. We only edify. We only build them up. We're straight shooters. But even in shooting straight, we love on the guys. We let them know we want more for them than we ever want from them. When we talk about shepherding, I've got this little cliche working. I want to be a better shepherd so I can shepherd better. I want to be a better shepherd so I can shepherd better. I want pastors to hear me. I want parishioners to hear me. My ultimate goal is to be a good shepherd because I know if I'm a good shepherd, then I'll shepherd good. And I want pastors to hear the urgency in my voice that our people are needing us now more than ever to be better shepherds, that we might shepherd them better. Okay, I want to play this last clip. You already know what I'm going to play, and you already gave everybody a little teaser that this is the best 3 minutes of preaching. This was sent to me by somebody else. I can't remember who sent this to me, but they did. Josh Howerton, who's a pastor in Texas, he covered this same thing. And so I went and found it without all the interruptions. And I thought, man, if we could get any message through to people about grace, Say No More, Alistair Begg has it for you.
Without the preaching of the cross, without preaching the cross to ourselves all day and every day, we will very, very quickly revert to faith plus works as the ground of our salvation. So that, to go to the old Fort Lauderdale question, if you were to die tonight and you were getting entry into heaven, what would you say? If you answer that, and if I answer it in the first person, we've immediately gone wrong. Because I believed, because I have faith, because I am this, because I am continuing. Loved ones, the only proper answer is in the third person, because he. Think about the thief on the cross. And what an immense, I can't wait to find that fellow one day to ask him, how did that shake out for you? Because you were cussing the guy out with your friend. You've never been in a Bible study. You never got baptized. You didn't know a thing about church membership. And yet you made it. You made it. How did you make it? That's what the angel must have said, like, what are you doing here? Well, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Well, because I don't know. Well, excuse me, let me get my supervisor. They go get the supervisor ranger. So, just a few questions for you. First of all, are you clear on the doctrine of justification by faith? The guy said, I never heard of it in my life. And what about, let's just go to the doctrine of Scripture immediately. This guy's just staring. And eventually, in frustration, he says, on what basis are you here? And he said, the man on the middle cross said, I can come. Now, that is the only answer. That is the only answer. And if I don't preach the gospel to myself all day and every day, then I will find myself beginning to trust myself, trust my experience, which is part of my fallenness as a man. If I take my eyes off the cross, I can then give only lip service to its efficacy, while at the same time living as if my salvation depends upon me. And as soon as you go there, it will lead you either to abject despair or a horrible kind of arrogance. And it is only the cross of Christ that deals both with the dreadful depths of despair and the pretentious arrogance of the pride of man that says, I can figure this out and I'm doing wonderfully well. No, because the sinless Savior died, my sinful soul is counted free, for God the just is satisfied to look on him and pardon me. That's why Luther says most of your Christian life is outside of you, in this sense, that we know that we're not saved by good works. We're not saved as a result of our professions, but we're saved as a result of what Christ has achieved.
Woo! That was good preaching. That was good preaching. Final thought on that. I know that's one of your favorite clips.
Yeah, no, I had just seen it. I didn't even know it was that old. But this man, the man in the middle said I can come.
Ooh, that's
This
powerful.
is awesome.
That's powerful. What about you, Mike? I love that. The man in the middle.
Yeah, I think it just continues to give me hope each and every day. And at the same time, throat punches me each and every day. Hope in my lowest points.
Yeah.
That it's the man in the middle. And then a throat punch that in my greatest hilltop moments where I feel like I'm just a man.
Yeah.
I was killing it. I was 10 for 10. I say, man, I'm still short. It's not by my own works. It's the man in the middle.
It's humbling, huh? It's humbling. It's super humbling. Part of me is I'm super excited that Christ did for me what I could not do for myself, but I'm super humbled that I couldn't do it for myself. And, a lot of times we like to think we're better than what we are and that we deserve, right? We spend a lot of our life well, I deserve that. I deserve that. And really, at the heart of Christianity, at the heart of our salvation, is we realize we ain't getting what we really deserve. Yeah, I mean, we're getting away with it. We started at the beginning of the podcast. Nobody really gets away with anything. Well, because of the man on the middle, we're getting away with everything. Thank you, Jesus. Because I could not do for me what you did for me. And it really should give us a brevity, right, on how we treat people and how we look at people. The old timers used to say, and there would go I if it were not for the grace of God. I tell you, this has, in my opinion, been one of our best podcasts. You need to like, share, you need to comment. You need to tell somebody they need to tune in. This will be the best hour and 10 minutes of their life. You know what? This has been Not Funny Podcast. Peace and